Hi everybody. Today we are here with a really puzzling question. What to do when the negative effects of being a caregiver outweigh the blessings? So many adult children and spouses share in the negative effects of becoming family caregivers. The challenge is that you have this care receiver, an aging parent, a spouse, or a grandparent who is so focused on their health and their problems and their needs and their pain that they don't see the effect on you, the caregiver. And when a person gets to that negative place, whether it's the care receiver or the caregiver, there's a lot of work to do to raise yourself up. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, a lot of hope, help, support, and inspiration for caregivers and aging adults. Please click the share button on this video, share it with other people that you know, and follow my channel on YouTube. So the theme for this talk today is getting into our minds and really focusing on the idea of it's not what happens to us. So it's not what happens to you, but it's what we decide to do about what happens to us that makes all of the difference. So let me share some examples of how negative circumstances begin for caregivers. If you're early in the caregiving stage or if you've been a caregiver for a while, you'll probably be able to acknowledge a lot of these. So for many people, caregiving can turn into this full-time job. Many caregivers quickly cross this 20-hour-a-week threshold into 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 24/7 caregiving. And instead of thinking along the way, should I make some adjustments? Should I make a different plan? Should I do something differently? You just keep going, okay? So you're kind of moving from, oh, I love doing this, it's great, I love my parents, I appreciate helping my parents, to, oh my God, I hate this. I don't know if I can go on. This is a really bad situation and I have no idea what to do. And when you think about spousal caregiving relationships, these kind of happen over a long period of time because when you choose that partner, your spouse, you tend to choose people, or most people do anyway, people with similar interests. So if you're healthy, you would tend to pick a spouse who is healthy. If you have these hobbies, you would maybe tend to pick a spouse who has those hobbies. And so when you share all of these things during your life, when things start to happen, they're kind of happening to both of you instead of one of you. So if one of you gets sick with an illness, the other one may have similar illnesses. And so you're both kind of in this same situation of, well, we both need help, but who's a little bit healthier, who's going to become that caregiver? And then we add to this all of the effects up here. The mental effects, the psychological effects of caregiving actually can be worse than the physical effects. Physical effects are things that you do. So, bathing, dressing, housekeeping, lifting people, going to doctor appointments, all of that day-to-day work, task stuff. But then there's this stuff up here that starts with feeling depressed or feeling anxious or feeling isolated or alone or upset that you're trading parts of your life. And then you start neglecting yourself, your own medical care, poor diet, you start to have health issues. So what can caregivers do when the negatives of being a caregiver start to outweigh the positives and the blessings? The first and the most important thing is to really understand how your mindset affects your life and realize that you have choices about what you think up here every day. It's important to think of your mind and your body as your physical house, as your church, as this vehicle that gets you from place to place, because it does. You want to take control of your mind because it is the most powerful weapon that you have against negativity. You also want to realize the importance of caring for your body, okay? Don't take your health for granted. Learn about the benefits of exercise and nutrition and medical care. If you are a caregiver for a loved one, through the care that you're providing, you're seeing the results of how your spouse or your mom or your dad or grandma took care of their body and their mind throughout their life. Any negative things you're seeing there are a direct result of their actions. So what you want to do is you want to say, I am not going to let that happen to me. I'm going to choose differently. Now, we all realize that not everything goes perfectly in life. Doesn't always go the way we want, but that's life for everybody. Everybody has challenges. Negative things will happen to you just as they happen to me. The important thing is what? It's what we do about what happens to us, how we respond. So as caregivers, we want to learn by example to figure out how to restore balance in our lives, our care situation, and move forward positively. So there are a lot of people out there who offer advice who've never done the things that you might be facing. Now, I have been in this caregiving field for 20 years. So more than likely, anything that many of you have done, I also have done, not only for my family members, but for thousands of clients. So multiply the experiences. And trust me, I've done a lot of things that didn't work out the way I expected. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned from those mistakes, which is why I am here talking to you today, to try to inspire you to get back to that positive place. So you have to decide, who are you going to follow? Are you going to follow people who are negative and people who complain and people who make excuses? Or are you going to try to follow people who can inspire you to do better? And when you look at this, what model or what examples are you setting for your parents? Do you expect your parents to follow you if you're negative and you complain and you're telling them to do all these things and you're not doing them for yourself? So I'm not telling you not to be empathetic about the situations of other people. You can be empathetic and say, wow, I understand you're in pain and you have all these complaints and you're depressed and you have all these concerns, but remember the question. It's not what happens to you, it's what are you going to do about that? That is the question that you should ask them. Mom or Dad, I understand this is the pits, but what are you going to do about it? What do you want to do about it? What can you do about it? Are you willing to change habits to do something about it? So if you want your parents to be more attentive to their health, be more attentive to your health, say, hey, I'm going to go out for a walk. Why don't you come with me? If you want your parents to go to the doctor, make sure that you are being attentive to your health. As a caregiver, you can't neglect your health and expect your parents to take care of theirs. It doesn't work that way. That's why you're having this battle of parents who don't want to do things that are good for them because you don't either. If you want your parents to be healthier, you be healthier. If you want them to eat better, you eat better. If you want them to exercise, you exercise. The blessings of being a caregiver are the lessons that we choose to accept along the way. We can keep fighting and fighting and fighting just like our parents do. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Or we keep trying the same old thing and it doesn't work. Stop the fight. Pause, think, reflect. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it that can restore the blessings and the appreciation in your life. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. Please share that. Please visit my website. On there, lots of helpful information. Articles, videos, my weekly podcast, The Caring Generation, online courses for caregivers. So much support and help. Thanks for being here. I hope to see you again in another video.